Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, family? Welcome to La Santera's Card of the Day. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. And I want to give a shout out to um, some women of color, tarot readers, um, women who um, are just, I feel, mastering the divination and spiritual wellness, healing arts. The first is the Hood Healer, who I think is phenomenal, who I miss not being on social media, not being on Instagram. And also Tatiana, Tatiana Tarot. These two beautiful spirits have incredible gifts and share amazing things. And so I just wanted to shout them out because one of the things that I really appreciate about being an artist who is also a healer, who is also a priestess, who is also a mother, who is also many things in the world. I I find so much value in celebrating women doing amazing things. And so I wanted to give a shout out to those two tarot readers because this morning I felt like, they're my teachers. Like I listen to how they connect to their intuition and how they share their gifts. And I have my gifts and I have a way that I share. And so real recognizes real. And so I wanted to celebrate them. And so that brings me to today's question. So one of the things that as I was shuffling, I was saying, I always ask, I try to figure out what I'm feeling, what I'm waking up with, and perhaps what other people are waking up with. And the words that came out of my mouth were a woman's worth, a woman's worth, a woman's worth. And and I stopped and then I went deeper and the question became about knowing your worth, how we come to know our worth. And so the card that came out today was AZAKA La Flambeau. AZAKA La Flambeau. It's important to pay attention to like the image, right? We see this spirit, Loa. We see the smoke coming out of the pipe. We see two figures in the smoke embracing, right? Like two lovers, right? So the question is about worth. And so we're being called today to really pay attention to our shadow side. What's holding us back? Why do we believe that we are unworthy? Why do we believe that we need other people's validation or permission to pursue our dreams? This card represents oppression, right? So when I think about knowing our worth, knowing your worth, the reason I feel like we can't connect to that or don't connect to that is because we've been told that we're unworthy. We're unworthy of things. We're not good enough. We're not smart enough. And so when you know your worth, we know that speaking those words to ourselves is harmful and completely untrue. This card represents our dreams. It represents how we connect to that. It represents how we pursue the dream. It represents hope, right? So we see this fire, this smoke, two lovers. This is about new possibilities, right? When you know that you are worthy, When you value yourself, let's start from that place. How are we valuing ourselves? How are we valuing ourselves in the workplace, in our homes, in our relationships, in our friendships? Are we the ones doing all of the emotional lifting? And so are we focusing on other people's problems to deter us and distract us from the things that we should be paying attention to for ourselves in our lives, right? When you know your worth, you do put yourself first, not in this selfish way, even though I feel like being selfish, it gets a bad rap. And I believe that, you know, in order to do this work, in order to pursue our passion, in order to master things, we need to be selfish and we need to isolate ourselves to do the work. Um, it's important to know that we have always possessed the things that we seek. You walk with everything that you need. We think that we need these things externally, but the truth is, we have always had gifts and talent. We don't need these degrees and titles to move in the world with power and confidence, right? These are things that we were always born with. We just haven't been taught to connect to that. And so I challenge you and I invite you to really pay attention to what's going on in your life, like the challenges in your life, the lessons, the cycles. Are you repeating things? This idea of worth is like, what are the things that we're settling for and tolerating? Like, what behaviors are we accepting? AZAKA La Flambeau, this Loa, is in the divination, and this deck in particular talks a lot about cruelty. How are we cruel to ourselves? And I think that believing that we are not worthy is being cruel to ourselves. And so you're being challenged and called. We are being challenged and called to create, to build, to believe, and to know that all things are possible. All things are possible when we put in the work. Dreams are nothing without action, right? I say that a lot. I've said that in many vlogs. Without action, we can't achieve the thing that we want. And so it's time to take our power back, to take our strength back, to take our truth back, you know? And so what will you do to connect to that truth? How will you know your worth? I think it's not easy. I think that there are things that come up um, that make us question and doubt. But AZAKA La Flambeau is a very powerful card. It's a very powerful card, and it's asking us to move with a sense of urgency and a sense of knowing that we are capable. You are capable. You are worthy. You were born worthy, you know, and I invite you to know that truth, to walk in that truth, to stand in that truth, yo. Yeah, today feels real heavy too. Like I feel in my spirit a tightness. I feel a tightness. I feel a tightness in my chest. I feel a tightness in my chest. And so I invite you to breathe. to really breathe and really sit with these messages. For some of us, it's hard because we want people to tell us they love us, that they're proud of us, that they believe in us. We want to feel supported and nurtured. We want to feel seen and heard. But what if we're not? How do we move in the world if we're not valued, appreciated, seen, and heard? How do we stand in our power and know our worth despite that? That's the challenge. That's what we're being invited um, to connect to. Who is someone in our life? Who is someone in your life that you can call who will give you the support that you need? I have a woman of color. I have a women writers of color group that I check in with every day. Well, I'm really bad at being online, but we have a WhatsApp group and we hold each other accountable for the writing that we want to get done, the projects that we're creating, and we check in every day. Like, who do you have that you can check in with that will support that dream, who will remind you of your worth, right? That's the person in the image that's embracing you and holding you and lifting you and telling you, you can do this, you got this, right? And so, with that, my loves, um, know you're worthy. You are worthy. You were born to inherit things, inherit amazing things. So go after your inheritance, yo. Go after that bag. Start that blog, that website, that small business. Quit that job, leave that relationship, seek that relationship, connect to someone who believes, I think that we need more positivity in our life. There's nothing worse than being around a bunch of negative people and naysayers. Find yourself some loving folks who challenge you, who push you, who inspire you. Ooh, I feel a lot better now. I feel a lot better now. Um, and I hope you do too. I am wishing you a day filled with joy and love and peace. For real, for real, for real, for real. You know that if you want a full reading, you can hit me up at lasantera.nyc@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, go to my website, lasantera.nyc. And yeah, I'm sending you crazy, crazy love. Do the thing that feels good. Have a beautiful day. Peace.